What is going on, everyone? Hootmoney here with another update for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about Mullen Automotive, or MULN. Now, I'm going to preface this video that if you're trading this thing simply for the momentum trade and you're not in it for the actual company itself in the short squeeze, then I completely understand your sentiment, and I do think there's potential that you can make money from trading the momentum of this stock. However, I believe that people are misinformed about the actual short interest, and I've had a change in opinion after doing a ton of research as of last night. It's not going to be the most positive video, so you have been warned in advance. However, I do believe at least some shareholders will appreciate the diligence that I've put into this, and for that reason, I felt it was necessary to make the video. So drop a like on the video if you guys enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and you want to see more updates like this. If you want all of my buy and sell alerts, an exclusive Discord community with me and other VIP members, you can check it out using the VIP Trade Alerts link. First link in the description down below. And without further ado, my friends, let's get right into the video. All right, my friends. So as you guys can see, here we have the Ortex data for MULN. Now, it is getting a little bit juicier. I cannot lie. After yesterday's 150% increase in short interest, it's looking a lot better. Now it's at 95% utilization. They're running out of shares to actually short this thing. So it is looking better there. But the main thesis behind why MULN would have an epic short squeeze is because people believe that there was an insane amount of naked shorting in the short exempts that were on the stock. Now, here is a list of the short exempts. You can see right here, 4 million short exempts. That's about 25% of the float in a single day. And that's not even all the short exempts from February 23rd right there. As you guys can see, 4 million here, 1.7 million here, 1.1 million here. So there's clearly a ton of short exempts in this stock, and that could be a contribution to why the stock price declined so greatly. I mean, if you look at this, it's absolutely absurd. There was over a 95% decrease in their share price. Now, I do believe mistakes were made in how people were interpreting this short exempt data, myself included. If you watch my video from yesterday, I also believe that it was definitely due to a naked shorting attack on this stock at the cost of retail. However, the further that I dove into this and I read some of their SEC filings, I realized that this wasn't illegal and it was public information. So this was not an illegal naked shorting attack. All information was public, and as a result, it was reflected in the share price. I'd like to quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Moomoo.com, a licensed FINRA stock investing brokerage that does absolutely zero payment for order flow. They're running a promotion right now where you deposit $1 on their brokerage, you can get up to $7,000 in free stock. On top of this, if you deposit $100, you can get an extra share of AMC. So it's a free money opportunity right now. Pretty much zero risk, unlimited reward, because you can go for $1, get up to $7,000. That's an insane return right there. You can potentially get Apple stock, Amazon stock, Google stock, and you can use those proceeds to trade up and completely just make a bunch of money on your account for free. So if you wanted to sign up for Moomoo, all you have to do is click one of the links in the description or pinned comment section, make an account with them, connect your bank account, and then deposit $1 on their platform, and boom, you will get deposited 2 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each. Anyways, that's all I really got. If you wanted to check it out, you can use the links below in the description or pinned comment section. But with that being said, let's get right back into the video. So some backstory. The first red flag that I saw was the $360 on their balance sheet. I mean, I have a much greater balance sheet than MULN, first and foremost, and that was wild. I mean, they had a 99.99% decline in cash year over year. That's the first red flag. The second red flag was that their current assets right here added up to $23 million. Now, if you look at their current liabilities, it added up to $48 million. This means that they could not afford their liabilities that are due within 1 year. So they have to seek out an alternative form of financing to keep the company afloat. And if you just do a simple 48 million minus their current assets of 23.47 million, that gives you about $25 million that they need to come up with in order to finance their operations in 2022. And just 25 million alone, in my opinion, is not enough money, because that just covers their liabilities. That just covers the money that they owe. If they want to actually fund and build their company, it's going to get a lot more expensive. So they'll probably have to do some more capital raising activities. So this brings me into the Form S-3 that they filed with the SEC. You can find it yourself, which showed that they were going to dilute with 228 million shares of common stock. Now that might be alarming right when you guys see that number, because their float is only 22 million shares. However, a majority of this are going to be warrants. So 148 million right there of exercisable warrants. These warrants will be exercised at a strike price of $8.84 per share. So unless this thing runs up to $8 plus, there's no real need to worry about that. So like I said, the company needs 25 million to fulfill their liabilities that are due in 2022. And as you guys can see, they had a 30 million equity line of credit from this offering. So this should cover their current liabilities, which is good. This means that the company can not declare bankruptcy essentially in 2022. So the $30 million equity line of credit allows the company to fulfill their liabilities that are due in 2022. However, what the company has to give up in exchange for this 30 million equity line of credit is what is causing the share price to decline, and also causing the absurd amount of short exempts that we're seeing right here in February. So many people were concerned that the CEO, David Misery, as you guys can see right here, he actually sold his stock for $3.88 in January, and it's most likely due to the fact that he knew that the share price would decline due to the way to how they finance the company. And I do find it concerning, and I do see some dishonesty with shareholders, because Mullen Automotive here on Twitter stated that the company is unaware of any business reason for the current decline of Mullen's stock price. So Mullen, if you guys are watching this video, I'll explain to you guys exactly how your stock price declined like crazy. And no, it's not because of an illegal naked shorting attack. As you guys can see right here, and I did post this on Twitter at HootmoneyYT, it's from the same exact filing that we were just looking at, and it stated that Asusa, which again was the financer of the offering that we're just looking at, will pay less than the prevailing market price of our common stock, which could cause the price of our common stock to decline. Asusa has a financial incentive to sell our shares immediately upon receiving them to realize profit between the discounted price and the market price. So they are receiving shares for a discount in order to finance this offering, and essentially because they are receiving shares for a discount, they can dump those shares on the market immediately, realizing the profits immediately. They don't have to own any of the equity of the company, so none of the underlying stock, they don't have to own it, and they don't own any of it because, as you guys can see in this filing on the 13G from February 14th, they dumped all of their shares. They don't own any of the company. They also state that if Asusa sells their shares, the price of the common stock may decrease. If the price of the common stock decreases, Asusa may have further incentive to sell such shares. So it's a positive feedback loop of Asusa essentially dumping this stock, and they own over 10% of the company, creating what was this amazing, incredible sell-off. Now, most of this sell-off, especially the sell-off that happened in 2021, was more or less legitimate because they did post very, very poor financial results. The rest of it, you can say it's illegitimate. However, it was written in the filing like I just showed you guys, and it created a negative feedback loop, which essentially sent this thing down even further. So there was basically two parts to the equation. There was the sell-off due to really terrible earnings. I mean, this company has some very terrible financial statements. As an investor, it's just not attractive, whatever. But then there was the sell-off due to the financing of the company, which caused all of these short exemptions here in February. You can also see right here that as of 11/15, the float of their common stock was 2.62 million shares. Now this is on 11/15, so this is back here when the stock was trading at an all-time high of about $14-15 per share. Now the float of the stock was 2.6 million shares back here when it was $15 per share. You can see by their filing on 2/15, the settlement date, the float raised up to 11.59 million shares, and now currently speaking, if we're looking at the float of MULN, it is 22.32 million shares. So within a few months, the free float did go from 2.62 million shares to roughly 22 million shares, which is insane dilution. I mean, the dilution alone should drop the stock price pretty significantly, roughly like 90%, which it went down 95%. So the dilution in and of itself was a fair sell-off. There's also the fact that it had a really terrible fourth quarter report, which also adds to the selling pressure of the stock. And on top of that, they did in fact file and warn investors, making it public information that there is going to be a positive feedback loop of selling this stock because of the way that they financed this, because of that 30 million line of equity that they drew in order to pay off the liabilities that they owe in 2022. So I do change my mind about MULN in the fact that I do not believe that it's undergoing some huge naked shorting attack that's illegal. Because again, I believe that the short exemptions that occurred in MULN stock was a direct correlation to the financing that they used in order to fulfill their current liabilities. On top of this, they diluted their company by 90%, and the share price declined to a low of about a 95% decline. And all of this information was defined in their SEC filings. And it is up to you as an investor to be aware of these filings, which is why investing in individual stocks can be incredibly risky, because if you miss pieces of information in their financial statements, in their SEC filings, you kind of get screwed. You can't just buy and hold and expect it to go up if the company is in a position where they're going to have to declare bankruptcy unless they dilute shareholders, unless they do essentially suicidal financing for their company like they did this time. So while I do believe that it is a fantastic momentum play with insane amounts of gamma exposure due to the call option volume yesterday, as well as the low float of 20 million shares, I do not believe that this company has undergone some crazy short selling scheme at the cost of retail investors. In fact, I believe retail investors had all of this information at their disposal and just did not act on it because, again, they did not look at the SEC filings. But anyways, that's all I got for the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out Moomoo if you want up to $7,000 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform. And if you want all of my buy and sell alerts, a private Discord with me and other VIP members, you can check that out using the first link in the description down below. Anyways, my friends, Hootmoney's out for now. I'll be seeing you guys next time. See ya.